Where do I start? They say life imitates art. I'm trying to paint a picture. Paint a picture that's licking you scripture. I ain't just another nigga. Another nigga with a dream. It seems we finally made him all believe. A dream to be the reason we come to achieve the life that we would all kill for, even die for. I score, so sick, so sick. Sick and tired of these little kids talking grown shit.
Sound good? Mm-hmm. Do I sound good? Do you guys hear that Cardi B named her baby?
Yeah.
No, it's
Kulture.
Oh yeah, with a K.
Kulture with a K, baby. The new king and queen of hip hop. The new baby. The new. Oh fuck! How do you feel about that? Kulture with a K.
I think it's just another ridiculous name.
Yeah.
I mean, like
the fact that
whatever.
The fact that the Migos named their 2 albums Kulture, and then this guy from the Migos names his baby Kulture with a K. To me, it's like people are saying it's on brand, but to me, it's just it's odd.
It is on brand though.
Kids' names supposed to be on brand.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
When your life is curated around that kind of stuff, okay.
Yeah.
If it was with a C, or if they said Vulture, if the baby's name was Vulture, that's on brand. Cardi, like, she's affiliated.
They take the B's, stuff. Just take the C's out and use B's instead.
Yeah, if she took the C and turned it into a B.
Vulture.
Don't name it. That would be, then I'd be like, yeah. But Kulture with a K, I just automatically think of the Kardashians.
No. I think Vulture sounds terrible.
It does sound terrible.
It makes sense in theory. I don't think we should. I'm glad they didn't do that. Jeez Louise. Shit.
Did you guys see the little blimp balloon they flew of Trump in the UK when he arrived in Britain?
Go.
When he arrived in Britain, the mayor of London approved all these protesters flying this giant blimp balloon. It's a blow up Donald Trump, but he's wearing a diaper, like he's a baby and he's crying. And all it was like this giant Trump blimp baby flying during his arrival and everybody protesting him arriving. And then he decided not to stay because he's like, well, I'm obviously not very welcome. It's like, yeah, get out of here.
Poor guy.
Wow. A giant flying, crying Trump blow up baby.
Yeah, you gotta find the picture because it's way too funny.
I don't...
Civility, that's what they say. Oh, man.
What about
Uh-oh.
the Chase the Ace?
Go,
Dwayne.
Go.
Oh, man. So... This woman...
That meme you showed earlier is hilarious, by the way.
Yeah.
In Glace Bay, Nova Scotia.
Glace Bay, Nova Scotia, yeah. So they Chase the Ace, for people who aren't familiar, it's like a hood lottery I don't know.
That's a really good way of explaining it.
It's like replacing bingo, essentially.
Yeah. But the thing is, the people are now, it's so much for the people that the people have made the winning for this competition or this game to be 1.2 million for this latest one.
Ooh.
That's how big it's gotten.
Okay.
So this woman who plays with her nephew, apparently, in the ballot that they placed, both her and her nephew's name are on the winning ballot. So when they were given the proceeds were split in half automatically. But when the woman was interviewed to discuss this, she basically said she's taking her nephew, who was, what did she say, like a son to her, to court, because his name is only on there for luck, not because it's there to split
for luck
the money.
That was her legit answer, though. She said, I wrote his name on this ticket because he's lucky. He's like a son to me. But he's not worth $500,000. What the fuck? So they get presented the checks. Yeah. And like that was, instead of saying like, yeah, thanks, here's my $600K check.
Yeah.
It was like, thank you very much. I'll see you in court.
Yeah.
Everyone's like,
the
what?
most awkward moment in the world.
This is online, I'm assuming.
It's online.
It's on the internet.
It was on the local news stations covered this moment and interviewed the woman and.
Check your local Glace Bay news reporting stations.
Oh man! And then the internet has no chill, so there's just memes galore.
Never. Yeah.
Someone put together a heritage, like one of the Canada Heritage Minute.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's on there. I had mentioned to you guys I was driving in, and on 104.3, the rock station, they were playing a cut together clip of like. They went to People's Court and Judge Judy was running People's Court, which in my mind didn't make sense because People's Court is actually run by Marion Million. So you got your People's Court and your Judge Judy confused. But anyways, that's from back in my...
Very observant.
Yes.
Because I was saying it and I was like, that's definitely not.
No,
that's
it's not
definitely
Judge
Judge Million.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, she's great.
Yep.
Did you know Harvey from TMZ is really a lawyer in real life?
Yeah.
I'm a lawyer. At the end of the thing?
No.
Yeah, he's really a lawyer.
He's really a lawyer.
Huh.
Interesting. Very
Those are some
interesting.
things I noticed. She might roll by. Can I give her the address?
Yeah.
Hillary, she's come.
Yeah.
She's like, can I roll by a little late?
Sister C is. Yeah,
So-
come through. Tell her come through. Tell her come
Okay,
through.
wait
Hey,
a second.
what's
What's the address again? Was it 12?
Don't say that on the...
I said 12. Just text to me right now.
Fuck 12. Sorry. Couldn't resist.
You
really
type
trying
it
to
in.
give away
the secret location? No.
No, we can't be telling people
That's Dave's
the
answer
secret,
to everything.
The secret
12.
location.
Oh, really?
Dave, I got a question for you. The answer's 12. It's like someday it's going to be right.
Okay.
Eventually you'll get it right there.
Perfect.
There's a secret code. Now
Got it. That's what I thought.
Keep that secret a secret. Welcome everybody to the Changing the Narrative podcast, episode 32.
Yeah.
How's my introductory radio voice?
I love it.
I'm trying to practice.
I don't know if I like that, man.
I know
It makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't.
It's dripping with sexy. You can't.
Yeah,
it's too
like,
much
it's
sexy.
too
Okay,
much.
got it.
Water. Just drip.
Ooh, yeah, drip.
Yeah.
I got too much sexy on my sauce. I gotta take some sexy sauce off.
Throw some stroke music in there, and then you're good.
Hey, there we go. I'm.
Yes, the new album I've been listening to,
Go.
which I was gonna send you guys, but I know Duane's not like a huge fan of like R&B, and it's in places it is. But Leon Bridges' new album, Good Thing.
Leon Bridges he's
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
I'm amazed.
Yeah, he sounds very like Motown.
Yeah, but this album isn't at all.
Really?
It's like upgrade.
Okay.
Ooh.
He's like jumped a few decades, and now it's
Nice.
like a little more current. But still, I like his vocals a lot.
I like Leon Bridges too. He's dope.
So good.
Check him out. And
Check it out.
and everybody else check him out too.
The Drake R&B side is growing on me, to be honest.
Slowly. Kiki, do you love me?
Yeah.
Are you riding? You never me. You do the dance yet?
No, there's a dance.
Shaky?
Yeah, I don't do that. No.
Kiki. Yeah, do the hearts.
Oh, the
do
heart?
you love me?
Yeah. Okay.
Are you riding? And are you riding is like you had a phantom steering wheel.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you riding? So you never leave me. So you gotta give them a tumble finger wave. Never
Got
let
it.
me leave me beside me. And then you gotta do like beside me is like this little like
like a hip scoop.
yeah hip
kinda?
scoop scoop. And then
See, I figured my volleyball kids would have let me know this by
freestyle
now.
after that.
Dwayne is really like not okay with
Do
this.
you love me?
Look at the face.
You know, like the dance.
These dance crazes just are annoying to me.
That's how you get a hit single.
I get it. I'm jealous that I don't have
You
one.
have a dance.
But
We need an arpeggio
Dwayne
dance.
Jones.
We need
yeah.
we need
Yeah.
to work on that. Oh shit! I'm your host, Terrence Taylor. This is Changing the Narrative podcast. I'm sitting in between two beautiful ass people. The one to my right, he goes by the name,
Duane Jones.
and across from Duane Jones is the beautiful
Lauren Sears.
And we here to talk all that good talk. We got some housekeeping. We got some weekly updates. Let you know how our lives are going. We got a lesson of the week because we always got to learn stuff. And then we got a juicy topic. What are we getting into? Will Smith today? Will Smith was dropping them jams on the Rap Radar podcast. So we're going to get into that as well. Thank you. She already did all our housekeeping.
That was quick.
I like it, but it's in there. It's out of the way. What'd you do this week?
Oh man, I've been flat out. I've been grinding this week. I've been like, I mean, 6 anything's early for me.
Yeah.
I'm not about to live that 5 a.m. life.
It's good.
But yeah, it's been a really full week. Did a presentation for the Department of Business and their folks that work with Invest Nova Scotia, which is kind of an investment arm of the government.
Yeah.
Did a presentation about our impact incubator and kind of all the stats that Common Good Solutions has been coming up with, all the diversity in the social entrepreneurs, not only themselves, but also the clientele or beneficiaries they're serving and the types of businesses. So we're talking about that, kind of our trials and tribulations and where we're going with it over the next year, which led into Wednesday, which was our first day for Steps to Startup training in Halifax. So what we've done is created an in-person kind of quick and dirty, validate your idea and get pitch ready with your idea. So we wanted to build a bit more of a tangible community because it was something that we had heard in feedback from our clients was a lot of them are doing this by themselves or solopreneurs. And so trying to make decisions without a team is really hard. Because at CGS we're coaches, right? We can't make business decisions for clients. We're supposed to present the information, give them all the tools and resources, and we can help guide. But we can't say, Duane, this is what you got to do. It's just not. You have to make those decisions yourself. So creating more of a team, an opportunity to find more team members is kind of fun. And you were there, Terrence, and taking some video. We had like 28 people.
That shit was lit. It was packed.
Anyone from 7 months old to over 60. So there was like broad spectrum, including some handful of high school kids, university folks, you know, everything in and around. So that was exciting. And then Dave-O and I were really just doing some management planning all day Thursday. And Friday I got to meet with some fantastic women around a couple of potential projects. And underlying all of that has been Canada Cup training with the 18 under team that my sister and I are coaching. Oh my God. We leave this Wednesday.
You do.
For Richmond, BC. It's just been like 2 weeks straight of training.
Safe travels.
So we've like had some university girls come into scrimmage, and today we're going to go to, scrimmaging again. But we're going to go to the Creighton Street painting party. So that's happening today.
Yeah, it is happening.
Yes.
This happened 2 days ago when you guys hear it.
Yes. So on Creighton Street. And so I'm bringing them along too so they can,
enjoy the experience.
Gotta roll with the CGS Kool-Aid a little bit.
Give them some of that
most
juice.
kids I find like, now that I'm in a position where I'm an active business person, you never really get to see behind the curtain that often when you're in high school. They don't talk about business in school. They talk about science and education and going into tech and doing all those sorts of things. And I'm like, you could be a business person. And then there are thousands of different kinds of jobs in the world of business. So I just kind of want to take an opportunity to be like, we work on really cool projects that make people live better lives. It's kind of
nice.
So if you wanted to go into business, this is an option.
Cool.
Start them early, guys. Start them early.
Get it before. Plant the seed early, and then I was one of the actual people from Steps to Startup. We had a conversation. I had stopped and sat down, and they were talking about creating, like improving the curriculum within the school system because finance isn't taught, and business isn't taught, and life skills aren't taught. But we know fucking geometry and chemistry and shit that most of us don't care to ever need to know. So she was I can't remember her name for the life of me, but shout outs to you for being and it's interesting because there was a lot of the frustrations that I found when I was in the classroom teaching too. I'm like, okay, I get what I'm supposed to be doing, but like there's way more important stuff here that we're not talking to people about, and it's kind of scary. Kind of scary that kids don't know about money. They don't teach you about money. But if they taught us about money, then we'd know how to use it, and then we would be much more intelligent and not so lulled to sleep with the options that are available if we knew we could create otherwise. And then if you've got people trying to create for themselves and you've got millions of jobs that need filling, if you got free thinking people, well, they're not going to sign up for those jobs if they know better. So let's not teach them better. Anyway, we won't go
they're not signing up for those jobs anyways, and they're in poverty. So how do we bridge that gap? Use AI to fill all the jobs that people actually don't want and let them have meaningful work and train them accordingly. But that's my utopia.
A place where everyone does a job that they want to do.
Right. That they would like to do.
Let me know when the seeds in that utopian land start to Grandmaster Vision, baby.
We're getting there.
That's what it is. Duane, how was your week, buddy? What'd you do?
It was all right. In my day job, we were hiring someone, and I'm leading the hiring process for the first time.
Ooh.
How do you feel about that?
Took the question right out from me.
It is harder than I thought it would be.
How come? Because I know some people that do that kind of stuff.
Okay, so the early stage of it, I was aggravated. One, because we got a lot of applications.
And that first sift sucks, man.
Like, okay, so can you at least read the job description before you submit?
Right. So that's easy. Gone.
Right.
Nope. If you can't read the instructions,
You can't play the game.
you can't play the game. Bye.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I had to still read their cover letter to realize they didn't fucking read the job description. This has nothing to do with what, or their experience or whatever. The resume still had, so I'm like, you know. So that's one thing. That's annoying. I did realize that Dalhousie, I always wondered how this process works as far as like self-identifying.
Oh.
So when I say self-identifying, I mean saying that you're a person of color, or
Okay.
that you're LGBTQ or a woman, and disability as well. I think it applies. And there were times when I've applied for jobs where I'm like, I'm not going to identify as a person of color because then they'll just axe me out.
Right. Yeah, that's fair.
Right.
But no,
Such a sad truth.
it's sad. But then I realized, no, like, if you do self-identify, then there's a lot more work that you have to do on the hiring side to prove why you didn't choose that person for the job.
Oh yeah.
So
Interesting.
yeah, so I'm like, oh, okay, so that's how it works. So that's I found interesting, and so I would encourage anyone who's applying for a job in a like Dal or a bigger place, self-identify, because they have to give you a reason why they didn't choose you.
Interesting.
So yeah, that was interesting. But it's been good. Finally started interviewing people, and we made our short list, and
Nice.
it's nice meeting people and getting to see what they're doing, and yeah. So, after the first one, I was really nervous, but it's cool.
Yeah, you're getting in the groove.
Yeah.
Dope.
I always tend to like approach those conversations like very much more conversationally, and I think since I have made my way to Common Good Solutions, I've heard this phrase, and we now use it because it makes so much more sense to me, is that we always choose competency over qualification.
Yes.
Yeah.
So just because you don't have all the degrees,
Yeah, X, Y, and Z.
17 degrees and whatever you've kept up on your professional development, and you've done 14 other certificates. To me, if you don't have those pieces, if you can still describe to me experiences you've had and lead me to believe you'd be capable of doing something,
Right.
Yeah.
like I'm still going to count you in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is where the challenge was actually when you're dealing with a big
And that's what I sort of figured is a lot different.
bureaucracy
Yeah.
like Dalhousie.
Yeah.
So there were a couple people who I wanted to interview, but they didn't have the qualifications that we put in the job. I could just sense by the way they wrote in their cover letter that they are willing to grow and they'd be good to work with. Like they seem to know enough, even though they don't necessarily have the degree.
Right.
But I couldn't bring them in because I said that I wanted this particular qualification.
Yeah.
So it kind of limited my pool. But I needed that qualification in order to get the position to the level that I wanted it to be at in the
Right.
So it's kind of a
Catch
22. Yeah. So anyway, that happened. But it's all good.
How's the family?
Family is okay. The kids are home and they're being a little challenged that they don't have things to go to and do every day. So
Yeah, because it's
summertime. So they don't want to necessarily have structure. My wife is an educator, so she's home with them, and she said that they have been testing her patience. So yeah, when I come home, I kind of have to
be dad.
Yeah, I have to try to step in and help as much as possible to alleviate some of that stress.
Yeah. What's the summertime? How does the summertime stress differ from the school year stress?
School year stress is there's just so much going on. We come home from work, or we don't even come home. We just pick them up and take them to whatever their activity is, and then they have to practice piano when we get home from that, and they have to read, and they have to do this and do that every single day. Yeah. Now we don't have that. So now they're sitting around.
The routine.
No routine, right? They're just sitting around like looking for stuff to do. Right. But then they don't want to do anything. So they're like, Netflix. Yeah. So we didn't really have that when I was growing up. So they just want to watch stuff on Netflix on repeat. And if you tell them no, then they're like, they get mad or frustrated or whatever. So, yeah, when I come home, I'm like, she's like, oh, you got to find activities for them. I'm like, I don't know what to make them do. So, yeah, that's what we're dealing with. I think I pulled my groin or strained my groin or something trying to play basketball on Friday.
He was up there balling,
man. Terrence Camden Nude Hoops.
Yeah.
Shouts out.
Back on the court 2 years later.
Yeah.
All types of rust. All kinds of it. And all kinds of not in shape. Yeah. But it was a good time.
It was good,
Time to get on the court.
Big, strong guy fucking ran into my leg and ripped it in an angle it's not supposed to. So I think I'm done for 2 months.
Self-diagnosed, 2 months, he's out.
Jeez.
I'm going to the doctor to confirm, but I'm pretty sure.
That's how you feel?
Doc, I've done a preliminary assessment. 8 weeks minimum.
I know, Doc. I know.
I got the big swelling in the inner thigh, the lack of mobility, and the pain. So I'm guessing it's.
You're convinced. Convinced he's out. Yep. He's on the bench, coach. He's on the bench.
Yeah. And you know what? I kept playing too, and dudes would get mad at me for not like being as quick on the ball, and I was like, I did eventually. Just the power of the mind. Okay, so
here we go.
I said to myself, I got so frustrated, and it was mostly my teammate. It wasn't even that guys would beat me, because people would beat me. I'm like, I'm injured, whatever, I'm fine. Yeah, I can deal with my ego can deal with it. Yeah, but then the guy on my team kept complaining that I was missing shots and that I wasn't playing defense as hard. I'm like, I pulled my groin a second ago. And then I was like, you know what? Enough. If I'm here playing, I'm telling my team that I'm here for them, right? Right. So they don't want me to be other player go home, right?
Facts.
So I could just go home if I'm hurt. So I decided I'm choosing to play. So I'm going to convince myself that I'm not injured.
Uh-oh.
And I just was
you
like...
can see Lauren's face right now.
I'm like, I'm not hurt. I'm not hurt. And I started balling after that.
There you go.
So I was like, okay.
So do you think that made that worse? Is that what extended it from 4 to 8 weeks of being out? Or?
Well, yes. Because about an hour later, I was like, oh,
just so we know,
that was a bad idea.
Male ego has committed Duane to an extra 4 weeks of...
Rest and recovery.
The adrenaline was gone, and I was like, "Yeah, that was a mistake.
Yeah, that was painful."
Oh, and I have an art show coming up next week that I completely forgot about.
You forgot about?
2 creams, 2 sugar.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. So
Jonathan,
I met them at Blimp and Kulture. Actually, oh, that's them.
Amazing. Yeah.
Jonathan. No, that's Jonathan's.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
The circles grow smaller, Duane.
Yeah. Okay.
What's Jonathan's last name?
Dalhousie. Yeah. I didn't know it was them. Okay, so cool. So I'm doing Civil Unity, and it's me, Kayla Flynn, Kristen Harrington, Maria North, and Mark Bart. People know him as Prince Fuse. He did that cool Raptors mural a couple years back.
Nice.
I'm getting real sick of being away for all these awesome ass things.
Don't go nowhere then. Stay home with us, love. Stay.
But yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be just a straight up art show. Some of my paintings from Moments in Culture are gonna be there. Some paintings I did before that are gonna be there. And
the 18th.
On the 18th at Daily Grind. 7 o'clock.
7 to 11. Daily Grind. Yeah. 2 cream, 2 sugar.
Yeah, so
check it out. Make sure you're there. What did I do this week? Like Duane said, we played some ball up at Noon Hoops. First time I played ball in 2 years. And I was up there facilitating. I didn't have no cardio. It was half court too. Didn't have no wind.
Yeah.
I didn't have no knee braces. So I was being cautious, because the last thing I wanted to do was not
You have knee surgeries?
Yeah, I tore my meniscus. So meniscus surgery. So I'm very cautious of it. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, I was really the biggest person most of the time and just trying to play defense and not pass out. But it felt good. It was honestly, it was just good to play basketball again. I forgot how fun it was.
Yeah.
I was even playing, I had my glasses on and was like sweating and like having to wipe sweat and push my glasses like nerd style. But I was playing, I was having fun. It was good. So thank you, Duane, for getting me out of the house, getting me out of the office, into the gym. Beautiful day. This week I did 8 workouts, except for Wednesday.
Jeez.
Except for Wednesday, I went to the gym in the morning, like 6 a.m. lift, and then noon or evening cardio.
Man, good
Monday,
for you.
Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So and Friday we played ball, so that was perfect. I had so much fucking energy and got so much accomplished. And because Wayne, we have talked about just like finding time to be physically active. We're like, oh, I feel like I don't have enough time to work because I'm going to working out and doing stuff. But man, Monday, I had done everything I was supposed to do and more, and shut it down at 6 o'clock and walked out the office and didn't have to think about work. And I was like, whoa, this hasn't happened in months. So it felt really good. And then the next, I was like, oh, Tuesday, I'm doing it again. And so those 2 days were, and then Wednesday, life happened and it kind of got, and I was like, no, I can't divert off the plan. So I got back on and it felt really good to close out the week like that. So that was good. The meal prep was on. So I had my healthy foods and I was working and being fit and working out.
You're living the life I can't make myself do. Oh my God. Which I do need to make myself do. Which I've been saying for like 3 years now.
Right. I gotta do my meal prep today. I don't know when I'm gonna have the time to do it, but I know it has to get done.
Yeah.
Like it just has to. I spent so much less money this week.
No kidding.
I wasn't going out. And
so I saw everything you brought into the office. I was like, I'm just gonna eat Terrence's lunch today.
That's what I'm saying. Just grab a spoonful, just put it on a bowl and
little scotch.
So so the healthiness is feeling good. The mind is feeling good. I downloaded 38 hours of audiobooks onto my phone. What
app do you use?
YouTube. I went to YouTube downloader. I put in the link. I found these audiobooks on YouTube, took the link, downloaded them as MP3s, uploaded them to iTunes, synced my phone, boom, way to go.
Got it.
So on here, what do I have? What do I have in this stash? In my book stash. Come on, this is only gonna stop working as soon as I get ready to turn it on to use it, right?
Naturally.
Browse, library, books. I have Think and Grow Rich, The Power of Now, You Are a Badass at Making Money, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, The Way of the Superior Man, which I'm like almost halfway through, Unfuck Yourself, Crushing It. Going. Yeah, Crushing It by Gary Vee. Yeah, 39 hours, 7 books, and life feels really good. It's cool because I like wake up in the morning. I feel like I'm finding like what my routine of like success kind of feels like.
Okay.
So I wake up in the morning, I got my groovy jazzy tunes on, I get ready. First I was like, maybe I'll make like my gym bag and all my stuff the night before. But I like kind of waking up in the morning and like kind of going through the day slowly and like getting ready. So I was glad I didn't stash it for the night before. But I got my tunes on, get in the car, put a little audiobook on, drive to the gym. When I have some off time, it's just like, it feels really cool to have an educational, healthy life balance.
Cool.
Or trying to get there. So.
Evolution.
I'm trying to. Me and my mama went to see Shaka Khan.
Oh, was
Thursday. It was good. She this is a 65-year-old woman on stage. Let me let you know.
Okay.
She's up there ripping it. A couple times you could tell that she was a 65-year-old woman on stage because the vocal pipes, they wasn't hitting like they was back in the day, and some of she had to kind of dial it back. She didn't do Shaka Khan, Shaka Khan. They played that. They did the ad lib, like they dropped it, like it was coming, and then she did a different song. She did like I'm Every Woman. It's still a great show.
Okay.
There's some hits I think the people wanted to hear, but 65, I can only imagine being a woman, being 65, looking how she looks on the stage, doing what she's doing. Legend. Pretty fucking cool. Okay. So me and Mom went to do that, and I'm taking my sister today to go see Daniel Caesar.
Cool.
Okay.
So now that I'm not spending my money on eating food during the week or wasting it and drinking more than I should or smoking more cannabis than I'm supposed to, I'm saying I'm gonna take this money and put it in places that what was the whole purpose of me getting money in the first place? Was to take care of the people that I appreciate the most.
Exactly.
Let me take my mama to go see Shaka Khan. Let me take my sister to a concert. Let me take them both to dinner. Let me have some fun. Let me hang with my fam.
Yeah.
Simple and plain. So that's been good. Yeah, that was my week. Ooh, no, I got one more. I figured out my dates for Scotland.
What are your dates for Scotland?
So, I'm going to Scotland for 3 weeks. I'm going.
Yeah, you are.
I'm going for the week of the Social Enterprise World Forum. We have some ideas of building the global brand of Common Good Solutions and Social Enterprise Institute because it's got a lot of Canadian faces and a lot of Canadian voices. Thanks
Because
to
we're bringing them all.
Right.
That's the exciting thing. Is like we are leading the charge. We're like, okay, we're gonna try and get some money out of here. Try and get some money out of here, so we can fly more Canadians over there, so we can just party and make our presence known.
Yeah.
And like pretty much all of Common Good Solutions is going. It's gonna be sick.
Deep. It's like 20 some odd people there.
Yep.
Whole team.
It's gonna be fun.
Whole team's going. So if you think about the Social Shift documentary and 70 social entrepreneurs that were interviewed within the doc, they're all Canadian. Most of them Canadian. The white Canadian faces. And if this is supposed to be a global brand, we need some accents. We need some people with different complexions and different lives and living in different regions of the world. So first week we're gonna do some UK stories, some Scotland stories, maybe some London stories. The week of the conference, we're gonna have people from all around the entire universe. So they will be coming, so we'll get a lot of diverse voices there. And then the week after, I think I'm going to stick around a little bit longer, do a few more interviews, because this is the beauty of this is what I wanted. I'm part of the team. So whether I'm editing videos in Halifax or I'm editing videos or shooting videos in Scotland, it don't make no difference. And that's the dream. So that's the setup. That's what we're doing. And then I get to spend probably 3 weeks in adventure mode, riding around. I don't know where I'm going. That's actually what I have to do. I have to figure out where I want to go. Because at first I wanted to do like Northern Europe and do like Amsterdam, Belgium. And then I was like, but I really want to go to Greece. I've always wanted to go to Greece. And then I was like, but in like Spain and Italy and France, that sounds really cool. But then I'm like, I kind of just want to find the most beautiful places ever and just go. Because I don't want to do anything when I go. To be honest with you, I just want to. Yesterday, I found a really nice place on a rock with some water, and I sat out there again for 3 hours, just relaxed. And I feel like that's what I want to do more of. Not really so much be a tourist and like take pictures and like do all the things that tourists do. I just want to go hide somewhere.
That sounds like a magical vacation. Sounds like what I'd want to do. Definitely.
So now I got to do my Googles and figure out where I'm going to go. So if anybody knows anybody, or if you had any good suggestions of peaceful European getaways, and it doesn't even, at this point, it doesn't even need to be Europe, because once I'm over there, I can kind of go wherever. But I feel like we should do Europe because we're there.
It's funny you say that. My mom just texted me to say she just got back from Volendam tour. They're in Amsterdam right now.
Oh.
I was supposed to go, but we house poor, so we couldn't.
We're building a house.
Yep.
We couldn't go, but my family's doing a European tour right now.
Nice.
So
nice.
I can get some recommendations.
Yes, I'm going to take some short notes. Appreciate that. So yeah, I think that's all for me. Did you guys learn anything this week?
Well, just being the chase the ace thing, fucking greed, yo. Don't be greedy, man. Come on.
Don't be greedy.
Come on.
What is your problem with greed?
There's nothing that can come of greed. I feel like I don't necessarily believe in karma, and I grew up Christian, but for me to be like preaching about Christianity, I feel would be disingenuous because I don't necessarily go to church anymore. But I feel like when you act in that certain way, you're bringing negativity on yourself. So, like, I just feel like if you're $500,000 richer than you were yesterday, take that blessing and keep it moving.
Facts.
Why squabble over having an extra 5,000, 500,000, or 600,000
with someone that's like a son to you?
Right. You rather ruin those human relationships for the money? Because
People get fickle, man. People get fickle. I tell you.
I would never sacrifice a family member for money. I don't care how much money it is. Like, I don't. To me, that's just
That happens
crazy.
all the time, though.
I know.
Look at anybody that, has an estate. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And as soon as that person's gone, now everyone's squabbling over who gets what pieces of the estate.
Yeah.
I read a horrible story about Stan Lee, and he's in his 90s now, and he's obviously filthy rich, and his daughter and whatever other family members, like elder abuse, all these kinds of things, because they're all trying to squabble over the money before he dies, right? Because when he dies, they're gonna want it.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, they're getting in place and getting ready, and that I've seen it too firsthand, and it's disgusting to me. So anyway,
What in the Will Smith interview that we're gonna dig into later on, he actually talks about feeling like he actually talks about that and saying that because he's like, I've reached the pinnacle of everything. I've done it all. He said, it's so fucking cliche. He's like, the money doesn't mean anything.
yeah,
You buy stuff and then you just have stuff. The most important thing, I'm pretty sure it's what I said, the most important thing is like loving others and being of service to other people.
yeah.
That's where the joy of life.
That's comes. That's where that real happiness is.
But we steadily chase money.
Yeah, when I hear rappers say stupid shit like, I only care about the money, I don't care about friends, I don't care about girl, I don't care about love or whatever. I'm like, why do you have the money? You want the money for the happiness, right? The money is nothing in of itself.
Yeah.
So what are you fucking talking about?
Yeah. You only want the money to do the things that you wanted to do to make you feel the way that you wanted to feel that you couldn't feel when you had no money.
Yeah. Like, it makes no sense. But anyway.
Lauren, you learned something too, didn't you?
Yeah, the grind is real, and sometimes there's just going to be periods where you have to grind, and I've just kind of found myself in that this week. There's just a lot to be done, and not enough hours in the day when I'm coaching, so that's when I have to add coaching onto that. So that's kind of been one of those things.
The grind is real.
It is real. I was saying to you guys earlier, I feel like I'm this week was more like exam mode. Like I'm surviving. The amount of Tim Hortons I've eaten this week is like,
Yeah.
I don't want to eat it anymore. Like I just feel ill.
Physically.
Yeah, physically. And, going to bed late, but also having to get up early. And just because you got to get it done. So, but I feel like I'm a little more organized now. So when I get back from Canada Cup, it'll just be rolling.
Yeah.
And then I won't be coaching in the evenings.
Right.
So then food prep and Jimmy.
Has to be done.
I gotta. Jimmy.
Yeah. I feel you too on the grind being real, especially in there was a few ideas that I had in my mind of things that I really truly was convinced I'd be working on, and then I started working at CGS, and none of those things are happening anymore, and it's fine. It's totally fine. Because the grind is so fucking real that you really have to prioritize your time. And once you start, 168 hours in a week? Somebody do the math quick.
I don't know.
And
Curse our school system.
Right.
For my inability to do mental math.
We were supposed to learn all this stuff when we were children, and now...
168.
Cool, 168 weeks. So once you start doing, okay, I'm working at this thing for 30 hours. I got to sleep for, 5.5 times 7, 35, 40 hours a week.
Right.
I got to do my TTM stuff is over here. I'm like, but I also need to work out. And I also need to do this and be personal. And you're just like, there's no more time left.
168 hours is really not that many.
It's
when
not.
I think about it.
It's not.
It's not at all.
No.
And that's the thing is like, once you take away the stuff you have no other option to do, which is like sleep. And
I've literally never even thought about a week being 168 hours.
Neither have I. No.
That's it.
I don't think of it that way.
I need to sit with that for a minute.
Yeah. It's not a very long time. So you start doing the math because I've been in love with numbers now. Like, okay, shit. All right, I know I have
counting them dollars.
32. I got 32 hours of flex time this week.
Oh
so
my
it's
God.
all right, where do I allot that? Because that's it. I can't make more time. So it's really being hyper focused. Like I said, Monday and Tuesday, I got up to office early and had time to be normal. Mm-hmm. So I guess in that hyper focusing of shit, I really got a lot of shit to do. It then makes it so you can do some of the stuff you need to do, or in your case, none of the stuff that you need to do, which I find is very interesting.
Yeah.
I find that interesting.
Yeah. See, the difference between you and me right now is that you made it a priority and I didn't. I've been wallowing in it and like just letting it roll over me instead of like grabbing it by the nuts and being like, I'm getting my shit together.
Yeah.
I'm just letting it happen. Yeah. So you said, no, I'm going to do it. And I said, oh, I should sleep a little more.
Do it. You want meal prep together?
I would love to meal prep together.
I'll help you. Eliminate your excuses.
Yeah.
The invitation is there. So now it's like, all right, cool. We can meet whatever day.
Awesome.
We get the foods done.
Perfect.
Because because that's the thing. I brought that food in there. You said, "Ooh, I want to steal some of that." Well, good. That's the motivation. Okay. You ain't gotta steal it.
Yeah.
We just make it. I just come over. We just make it together.
Awesome.
And we done. And we always win. We win together.
Because I like cooking. I just don't make it a priority. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we gotta prioritize. We gotta prioritize those things. We'll get to it.
All right, we digging in? Are we digging in?
Here we go.
Let's do it.
And you know what's cool? We've got time for 2 topics today. We're at 40, so we're about halfway. So we want to start with Will Smith.
Yes.
We'll start with Will Smith. And
let's see where we go.
The what did he call it? The Paradigms of Love. And then I think we're gonna get into our topic of choices and like the excessive amount of choices that we have as humans, and if that's a good or a bad thing. I'll tell you later. Paradigms of Love. Will Smith. So Will Smith was on the Rap Radar podcast. I'm now a Tidal subscriber. They got a lot of really cool content other than just music. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Spotify's cool, but it's just a lot of music. Mm-hmm. And so I'm really digging Tidal. So they did an interview with Will Smith in Budapest. It's beautiful. Like, it's so dope. And they talked to him. First of all, I'm really, really enjoying studying. Oh, that's what I actually meant to say earlier. I'm really enjoying studying interviewers. I watched an Oprah talk yesterday and was like, this woman is queen. She's incredible. And then figuring out like what is it that we want to do in the future. I'm like, I want to talk to people. I want to do this. So let me study the best people ever to do it. So Rap Radar podcast is Elliot Wilson, who's a historically legendary journalist from the hip hop time. He wrote in like The Source and like XXL, like in the very, very early days. And B. who is another journalist as well. And they interviewed Will Smith, and they talked about the music industry and like how he got shitted on a lot as a rapper because he didn't really look like the typical.
Oh, it's not about like the life
hyper masculine, drug dealing, murder,
violent, right? Yeah.
Right. So he got a lot of flack for that, and then he was doing Fresh Prince and got into acting, and so the interview's actually really good. He talks about this, their kids and how one of the things that they've never controlled is their children's choice of clothing. Jade Smith went to prom in a Batman suit with a tie on. Because
not surprising.
And he also wore the same Batman suit to Kanye West's wedding. Kanye loved it, Kim hated it, but that's a whole other story. But and you think about Will and Jade, and you're like, yeah, I feel like they've raised like very free spirited, free thinking kids. So it was very interesting. And then he gets into a topic on the paradigms of love and like the relationships that he's had that have led to his understanding of love and like how love is supposed to be given and shared and received. His dad was in the military, so he was very like, extreme disciplinarian. There's only one leader in the house. Like I think one of the things he said his dad told him once, he's like, if there's two leaders, we're all gonna die. So there's only allowed to be one leader.
You okay?
And he is that leader. So talked about how having a military father as a disciplinarian and how love was like kind of forced and molded. I need you to be this person. You're going to be this person. So I'm going to make you be this person, and kind of like put a fear of disappointment in you that like you have to be these things for love to exist. And then he talks about transitioning, having a daughter, and how love then changed again in terms of what did he refer to? What was the next one? The desire pleasure paradigm. So like I want love, I want you to behave, so I'm gonna do this thing for you, and then if you do it, then I'll love you. So very, very condition based love. You gotta do this, otherwise you don't get no love. And then evolving that into the gardener flower paradigm of love, where the flower is the flower, the seed is the seed. When you plant the seed, the flower is going to grow. It's a matter of giving the flower, stepping back, allowing the flower to do what the flower is going to do, but providing the support and the things that the flower needs to become the best version of the flower that it needs to be. So here's your light, here's your water, here's your fertilizer, whatever it is. I'm not going to tell you or control you and try to make you be what I think you should be. I'm going to provide you what it is that you need to become a better version of yourself. So even in terms of, like not, just lost my train of thought. So yeah, that was what Will Smith shared. And I mean, there's so many directions we could go. We kind of talked about raising daughters and how that's different from raising boys. We talked
allegedly,
yes.
That's how the story goes. There's also, love relationships, and I'm sure we've all been in situations where there were like rules to love, like you got to do this or you don't get that. And I feel like I don't even know where to begin here. But you're a dad with girls, who's raising girls.
Yeah.
What is it like? What love paradigms do you maybe most connect to? Whether good or bad.
I don't know. I'll answer that. I'm not sure exactly how to answer that, but I would say I pretty much just subscribe to what he said in terms of, like, we tell our kids, no matter what you do, we're always going to love you. That's never going to change. And we always try to base our, like, for instance, my kids were just not being very well behaved this week.
Right.
And it's never like, oh, we don't love you because you're being...
pain.
I really want to call them assholes, but I don't know. But you're not being the way you're supposed to be. It doesn't mean that we don't love you. It means that we're judging your behavior. We're criticizing your actions, your behaviors, and what consequences those actions are going to bring upon you, and what consequences they have on us, and how they make us feel when you act that way. And we really try to push that. But it's challenging. You can see how some of that, like, older school thinking of, I'm gonna put the fear of God in you, sometimes
I lived like that.
Is
I did good in school because I was scared of getting in trouble.
Yeah.
And my mother finding out, and then me having to go home and deal with that.
Right. There's something to that. Like I remember some people saying you don't want your kids to be afraid of you. I remember people telling me that like earlier on, and I'm like, well, I don't know. Because there was a point where I was afraid of my parents, and I know that they always loved me, but I was like scared to fuck up, you know?
Okay.
And that to me was okay. So I'm torn, and there are times when I have, like in this modern day where kids like know, like they're so smart, they know what's going on. Yeah. They push. There's like if they really want something, they get to that point where they will push you, and then you have to say, okay, I'm about to put the fear on.
Right, but like, you can't tell me kids don't need boundaries.
They need boundaries.
Kids
100%.
need boundaries. They need to know that there are expectations.
Yep.
You know, there's got to be some structure. You're even telling me right now, your kids, it's summer. There's not a routine, and they're bugging out.
Exactly. Right.
I want something to do. I want something to do.
Surprise.
Right.
You know? So there's got to be some
But this
boundaries.
is part of the problem is my wife put them on a routine, and now they're fighting the routine. So that's just become a whole other thing. But yeah, absolutely. Like the Will and Jada thing, there's a part of me that thinks it's a very beautiful sentiment, and then there's this other part of me that I don't know how far they go with that, but
with what?
The boundaries and how flexible they are with their children. But like, yeah, you absolutely need to know. My kids need to know what's acceptable. When we went to IKEA yesterday, they wanted to touch every bloody thing in that store, and I was constantly like, that's not okay, that's not okay, that's not okay. You put that down. You go over here. Yeah. No. It was just like the whole time. And then somebody else's kid ran off and opened up one of the doors that says the alarms will sound if you go through.
Uh-oh. What a little shit.
I saw the dad go running in after him. And of course, the alarms go off and everyone's looking like, what's it going? Is there a fire? Is there a fire? Like people were actually thought it was a fire.
All because kids don't have boundaries.
Right. And my kids...
Well, or they pushing them.
Right.
They're pushing the boundaries.
Right.
We were all watching, and my kids were watching, and I said, "You see that? This is exactly why Mommy and I have been telling you guys to stop." Yeah. Because they're like, "Well, we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't do that. We know better than that." I'm like, the thing is, that kid didn't realize that alarm would go off. You guys always think. You know? Yeah. You think, oh, nothing's going to happen. I'm just touching this glass thing. I know I'm not going to drop it. Yeah. And then you drop it. And you're like, I didn't drop it on purpose. Yeah. I didn't know it cost $500. Yeah. They don't think about that. So you as a parent, you kind of need to do that. But then still somehow reinforce that you love them while having sometimes having to be firm with them.
Well, I think in a different context, that expectation that someone is going to change or behave the way that we want them to behave in like a more personal relationship is an interesting thought. Well, because I know lots of people. I'm sure you both know lots of people. They start relationships or get into a relationship with someone that is like maybe not ready to run alongside them. It's not really like a partnership in the forefront. Yeah. And maybe this person needs help or what have you. Yeah. But it just seems that when you enter in a relationship with that, you can't expect there to be a certain outcome out of the gate. You know what I mean? Like someone has to be ready.
Expectations.
Someone has to be ready to improve themselves before you sink all this energy into trying to make them change. If they don't want to change, is that a good spend of energy?
No.
Oh, I'm gonna get with this, guy. And this I think is a very cliche
like
female thing. Yeah. Women that like to try and fix men, and if he only just had like, a little more of this or a little more of that, maybe he wouldn't do this so much or would pick a better career or would do this to play less video games, like those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're entering into a relationship under false pretenses.
Absolutely. Yeah.
With that expectation that
Expectations
that's a
are not
that's a
fair,
condition.
yo. Yeah.
That's a condition.
Yeah.
I'm gonna enter this relationship based on the fact that this person could be better down the road.
Right. And so if they
That's my investment.
Yeah.
What if your investment doesn't have a return, man? Now what'd you just do?
Yeah.
So
Ooh.
what I'm you're a badass woman. I'm sure you're around a lot of other badass women. And in the way society's moving, women are becoming, at least in my experience, my wife makes way more money than me. I just put it out there. She does. And I know other people who are in that same situation. My mom made more money than my pops.
Does that bother you?
Absolutely not.
Why?
Good for you.
Why?
Why would it bother me? I don't know.
Why does it bother so many other people?
Why does it bother a majority of men?
When you listen to the dumb shit, and even Charlamagne says it a lot of people are still stuck in this, men are providers. Men have to do this. Men, fuck that.
Thank you.
I am a man. I can provide and protect my family without making more money than my wife. I still do all of those things without
facts.
money. Money doesn't mean anything. Yeah. And that's people are so hung up on that. You know, like I still have a voice in my house. Despite my wife is older than me, she makes more money than me. I'm still her husband, and I still demand equal respect.
Right.
So
you guys have a partnership,
we have a partnership.
See, because to me, there's a difference.
Go.
And this is why I've chosen my partner accordingly, is because I felt I found someone that can run alongside me.
Yeah.
That never, bless him, Kyler never complains about the number of hours I spend in the gym. He never complains about the number of hours I spend at work. Never. But who's always the first one? Who's the one that doesn't get more hours out of that scenario? Is him. Right? And there have been conversations about like, it'd be nice if we had some more time to be able to do these things. But he also knows that I'm an incredibly goal-oriented person. And like when I'm on a mission, like it's happening. And if it's in and it's rolling, like I'm going to do it. And he's never one time, we've been together for 5 years, been like, when am I going to be the priority? Because that's been the conversation in previous relationships.
Right.
When am I going to be the priority?
Right.
Well, then you were confused to begin with when you walked into this arrangement.
And I think it's cool because you following and you pursuing the things that are important to you make you a better person.
Exactly.
Make you a happier person.
Exactly.
Which if you're a happier person, he reaps the benefits of that happiness.
Absolutely.
You saying that just kind of like struck a chord because... Even in high school, it was like, all right, if Lauren in the household, like if Lauren's not happy, fuck. Like nobody, like if dad woke me up before my alarm, look out. Like if, testy teenagers, whatever. It's one of those things, but like, it's kind of a running joke and it's not inaccurate. And I don't want that to be the case. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's not that I'm not supporting other people to like chase their stuff. Because I have the ability to chase my stuff, I push my partner and like my sister and the people closest to me to chase their thing too, because again, we're all better people in the end because of it. But there's never, I think that partnership piece means there isn't someone that has the control of the household and they're the provider. You know what I mean? If everyone's working together to chip in, then there's no, well, I'm the breadwinner.
Right.
I'm the breadwinner. Because when you say I'm the breadwinner, there seems to be like an attachment of ego or power to that. Like there's all of a sudden, because you're financially contributing more, you have more say. That's not.
Yeah, and that's the way people act.
Right. In a lot of cases, that's true, but that wasn't what I wanted. It doesn't sound that's what you have.
No, so it's not what I want.
It makes it different.
Not at all. Because I'm always like, it doesn't make sense to me because there's always going to be someone who makes more money.
Facts.
So, are you going to say my voice is less valuable because I chose a certain career path? Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
And
that's a condition.
It's a condition,
right? So,
but societally, we're used to women being in that position of making less money. I just found more that I think women are going to be in that position a little more. And I'm wondering if women are in that situation where you said, where they're like, I can evolve this guy into a girl or whoever they're in a relationship with into being a better person or into making more money, into being the partner that I want them to be.
Yeah.
When is that even possible, or should that be a thing? And it's like, nah.
There's an interesting pursuit of self goals. Like, I like that you referenced that earlier, Lauren, because it kind of contrasts this. I'm going to push this other person to be this other thing versus I'm going to push myself to be what I want to be, and then everybody kind of wins and off based on that. And I feel it's interesting too, as we're talking about like traditional gender roles and like who's supposed to provide what. And I look at my own family situation, like my mother did everything. But she did everything because she had to.
Yeah.
So I watch mom be mom and dad, and you get to the point where you're like, this is normal, but this is not how it's supposed to be. So there's like, okay, well, so like, what is it supposed to be? And so it's almost like my fallback, my like go-to plan is like, ooh, 2-parent household where like people work together. And at that point, it wouldn't matter if one of the parents didn't even have a job. It just would make sense that there's 2 parents in a household.
Yeah.
So for me, I kind of look at it from a very like interesting lens of like, I kind of have to be that person. I watched my mom do it. So I'm like, all right, mom, you don't have to do this anymore. So like, I will take on that role of breadwinner, but it's only because in the pursuit of what it is that I'm doing makes me happy, which means I get to spend more time doing the things I want to do. And I can take my mom and sister to a freaking Jazz Fest concert. And that part of it, for me, it's not even about the money. It's about being able to do for others. Okay. It just happens that some of the things you want to do for others cost money.
Right.
So, like, for example, my sister's like, hey, my friend and I want to go to Daniel Caesar. Someone got to be 19 or we can't go. I'm like, easy. Let's go. And this is something I couldn't do 6 months ago. It only cost me $35. But I feel like when you're talking about providing, now I feel like I'm the chaperone to my sister's concert.
Yeah, that's a form of providing.
And we are so used to it coming through forms of monetary, like, here's the money, pay the bills. Or like, here's the food, now you get to eat. And like, I paid for the rent and like all the shit. But it's like, no, I'm actually going to this place and like making sure that this young person gets home safe. That is a form of providing. So
yeah,
it's just, it is interesting. Just the different dynamics of love and conditions and like, how do we give love and how do we make sure that we're satisfied and others are satisfied and like,
well, part of what, so when you played the clip from the interview and the thing, obviously after the line, I was like, I have something to say about that. And you're like, uh-oh. Go. But when he was like, oh, having Willow is just so different than like Jaden, and it's, she's getting the best of me, but it's different because, now I'm raising a girl. What the fuck is that about? Why? I've heard this in so many other places. When Kyler and I talk about, oh, okay, we're going to do it, or will we have kids? Are we going to have kids? Should we have kids? When is the time to have kids?
Right.
Oh, well, if we have a daughter, like, I don't know how to raise girls. Okay, first of all, I turned out fine. You have a problem with that? Obviously not. You put a ring on it. So,
right.
Okay, so what's the difference? Because when I was raised, so here's the way that I was raised. My dad wanted sons.
Okay.
As I think every father does.
Right.
Have a little mini-me running around. My son.
Do moms want daughters?
Totally.
Okay.
Moms totally want daughters too, right? And some parents don't care. They just want a healthy child, which is maybe what we all would like.
Right.
But pair that with, so my dad wanted boys. Then pair that with my Chinese immigrant parents. And in China, they value men more than women. It's shifting, but, the one-child policy was very real. And boys are coveted. Yeah. Okay? So pair those two things together. Everyone in my family is pretty much girls.
Go figure.
We don't have dicks. We aren't as valued in certain ways for that.
Right.
Okay? So my dad raised raised me like a son. He joked all the time, Lauren, you're my number one son. You're my son with tits. That's what it was. He's like, you're bigger than most grown men. You know, I'm almost 6 feet tall. I'm a healthy weight. Like, I am bigger than a lot of men.
That's funny that he said that.
Totally.
That's funny.
Totally. And so I always got the more masculine chores. I had to stack cords of wood. I had to mow the lawn until one time I decided to do such a terrible job that he never asked me to do it again. And then it was Hillary's job.
Very smart.
But I was never raised in this, like, the princess mentality.
Yeah.
Like, I remember my dad and my sister and I, we used to, like, fake wrestle and, you know those sock and bopper things?
Yeah.
Those, like, blow up. They were... Anyways, look it up if you're too young.
We've got one at the office now, don't we?
Oh, now we have a blow-up bozo, one of those things that you
Bozo
punch
clown.
that just, like, stands back up again. Oh, it's the best. Thanks, Dave Upton, the Keeler. But we used to do that kind of stuff. Going out to the woods, getting dirty on the beach, like, playing in the sand and, like, building things and looking at snails and building little habitats. And those were the things that I grew up doing. And I don't think I was treated like a princess the way that some girls are raised to be. And yeah, I play with Barbies, but I play with Lego just as much.
Yeah.
And so I think because my dad wanted sons, he didn't coddle me.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if Hillary ever gets here, you can ask her about that. But, you know, we were raised in the same house by the same parents. We're very different people.
Is she more girly, traditional girly?
Not in, like, the feminine sense, as like, oh, she wears more dresses and all these kinds of things.
Yeah.
I'd say that some of her, I don't want to say behaviors, but like the way she sees the world is maybe a bit more classically feminine than my bluntness and why people are like, oh, you're intimidating. Just the way that I kind of express myself has always been viewed as a bit more traditionally masculine on that side.
Right.
And so that's why I think I get so, like, it's not offended, but I get my ass a bit when people are like, oh, well, you know, raising girls is so much different. I'm like, why?
Okay.
She's a person.
But who's saying that? Is it men saying that or is it women saying that? Because
I've seen it from both.
Okay, because I would feel like, and this is just me as a dude without any kids, I feel like it would be more challenging for women to raise boys and men to raise girls.
So I
Because
obviously
we're not-
understand that.
Right?
Yeah.
I get that.
There is that. Okay, so here's from my perspective.
Says from the dad.
Here
we go.
My mom used to talk about, she always wanted girls, but she had 2 boys.
Okay.
I always said that my brother was her daughter.
Go figure. my taller younger brother.
But anyway, so with her, she said it was easy in a sense because she felt like she didn't have to. That traditional belief is that women need to be protected, and that's what the challenge is. And even like before I had children, when we would talk about it as guys, it'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to beat somebody up," because you always think you gotta protect your daughter from a man who's going to violate her in some way.
Okay.
And our sons, we feel like we can just let them run free. So my dad used to be like, how come you're not bringing girls around? Blah, blah, blah. Whereas if I was a daughter, I'd be like, don't bring any boys around.
Right.
You know, it was that kind of thing. So, yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. But
It's such a presumed role.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? So even then, like that comment, I would say that you could look at Hillary and I, and that is similar. Like, Hillary has told me things that Dad has said to her that he never said to me.
right.
Okay? One thing being, oh, guys only want one thing. Guys only ever want one thing. He never said that to me. He said it to her all the time. So she carries that with her now.
Right.
Right? But I'm like, well, why didn't he say that shit to me? It's because I was physically bigger. He just felt like
You're gonna punch him in the
assumed
nose.
that
Right.
that
Yeah.
there wouldn't be that sort of thing. Because
Right.
like Hillary's a bit smaller than me. You know, she's like 5'8". She's definitely like more slender than I am. So she's a smaller target. If you had to pick one,
Right.
that's really interesting.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing. Like, so when she and I talk now, because he's no longer with us, is like I hear the things that he said to her versus the things he said to me, and they're different. They're different because she's also the baby of the family. Right. So
that does change things.
So fascinating.
Yeah. And also my wife she's the oldest of 4 children. 3 of them are girls and 1's a boy. So in that narrative as well, her mother particularly always said, like, the 3 girls when they were teenagers were all like just emotional and drama, right?
Right.
Whereas this, and he's still that way to this day. He's just like, whatever. He's just so mellow and like.
Well, you would learn to be mellow when you grow up in a house full of women, and you learn to sometimes it's better not to say anything.
Right. So like even her mom says this kind of similar sentiment. Not that it's, I don't know if she said it's easier, but she definitely said, maybe she did use the word easy. Like when it came to Nathan, it's like, things just were less dramatic.
I think it's really interesting when you talk about like, all right, let the boys just run free and like send the boys off, let the boys do what they do. And then you think about some of the things that the boys who were just let free to do did.
Oh, yeah.
And we wonder if we should have kept them home sheltered more and taught them some of the things that women only want one thing. Why don't we tell boys the same thing?
That's exactly my question.
Well, some men are doing that though. If you pay attention to, I feel like it's coded language, but I'm breaking. I see it anyway. Even like Charlemagne when he talks, they imply that women only want you to pay their way. They only want to be taken care of, and I'm not gonna say Charlemagne says it, but I very much get that impression from a lot of things that I hear people talking about. Is that men, you have to watch out because women only want one thing, and that is your money. You to take care of them. They want you to lock them down or whatever the case may be, so they can you can be their meal ticket.
Especially in a world where there's so many fuck boys running around, because a lot of them was just let loose to run wild and act foolish. So I would understand the sentiment. Listen, you better go find you a good man who's gonna take care of the business and hold the house down, and because you don't want no man running around on you.
See, but my mom used to tell me all the time, and she'll still say it. You don't need a man. You don't need a man. You're gonna go get your education. You're gonna get yourself your own career. She said, because guess what? If you marry rich, and what happens if he leaves your ass?
Right.
And what happens if he beats you? You can't leave. That was the shit that I got from my mom. Was you don't need a man.
Right.
Mom's
and this is coming from a loving household with like
Yeah.
a great partner.
Right.
And she's still like, you don't need a man.
Right.
Do your own stuff.
Absolutely.
Don't depend on them for anything.
I tell my daughters the same thing.
Yeah.
You don't need a man. Like, that's why we got so many Insta thoughts running around, because they're trying to recruit like a meal ticket instead of just like.
I don't, honestly, I wouldn't want to be obligated. Okay. So I look around at a lot of these scenarios, and I think some of the most classic you see: old dude, lots of money, young wife.
Yeah.
First of all, I ain't sleeping with that.
Who wants that old wrinkly thing?
That's what I'm saying. First of all, I ain't sleeping with that thing. The money is not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. And I've seen it in Halifax, okay? Like, we are not far from this. Like, I know some of these scenarios, and I know them personally, and I'm just like,
right.
No thanks. It's not worth it.
Double gag.
It ain't. It's not worth it.
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird.
That's conditional. That is totally conditional
That's
love.
weird.
Yeah, it's sad to me though when I see women reinforce that. I would love to see more women step outside of that and just say, like, you don't need a man. Like, you don't need somebody to take care of you.
Okay, but so the you don't need a man is very different than, because does that raise people to just be individuals, like, and feel like they can do things on their own forever, even though in theory, we're kind of supposed to find a partner to do things with. So yes, you don't necessarily need this person, but I feel like the line of like, you don't need this person. Hello.
We have a guest.
Hello, it has a
Oh my God, look at that.
And she brought 10 minutes. Thank you very much.
Make yourself comfortable. My
Horn-
sissy has
Tim
arrived.
Tim Hortons ain't paying us, so we're gonna hide
The
this
famous Hillary.
behind the. Ooh, this one's got birthday party and sprinkles on here. Go ahead.
wasn't-
Thank you. Cheers.
Birthday party for sure.
Yeah, right. Pass one over here.
She's been living in your sweater, by the way.
Oh.
They called me out in it yesterday, being like, "You're wearing that sweater a lot." I'm like, "Well, it's one of my favorites."
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, baby. Which one do you got?
It's the gray one. It's just art.
Oh, I got that one too.
Okay.
Yeah, nice. Good pickup. Good pickup.
It's nice to see you, sissy.
Welcome. We were just talking about.
We're talking about all the jadedness, like where Dad told you that guys only want one thing and didn't tell me that. We're getting into that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about all that baggage
It's
and
a lot.
parenting and
Baggage.
conditional versus unconditional love. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. So in terms of telling women you don't need a man, but in life are we not supposed to find a partner to do this thing with so that we don't have to do it on our own? I see my mother. She's alone. I see my grandfather. He's almost 80 years old. He doesn't need a woman. She don't need a man. But damn it, they would rather be with someone than alone at this point in time in their lives.
So I think to me that's, are we entering into partnership for transaction?
Yeah.
Or are we doing it so we can feel like there's more love to be shared?
Because there are some people who want to be alone. There are people who prefer that. But yeah, I think that's what you need to think about. Is it transactional or is it love, caring? Because that's what I mean. I don't mean you don't need somebody in terms of like love.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
you don't need somebody to come and provide for you, pay for your way. Like, you're going to get a job, you're going to do this, or you're going to start a business, or whatever it is you're going to do.
I love that you just said that, by the way.
Yeah.
Because that's what everyone says, go get a job.
Yeah.
Never make your own way.
No, it's like find a source of income.
Which is a very Western culture thing, by the way.
Oh, the job thing?
Job versus make your own way.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And this is why you see so many, this sidetrack will go right back, but I think why you see so many entrepreneurial newcomers and immigrants.
Right.
They're told you got to make a better life for yourself.
Yep.
They come here and they
Go there
create
and get
jobs.
it.
They start businesses and create jobs. So people here can have jobs. It's not the other way around where they're coming in just trying to steal jobs. What the hell that means, steal jobs.
You moved here, you started your own business, and then you took a job that wasn't for us and we didn't want anyway.
And
Exactly.
let's face it, it's probably harder for people to get hired when they're different.
Right.
But just way to say that to your kids, like,
Yeah.
start a business or, maybe get a job.
Yeah. So it's the difference between conditional love / transactional love versus giving
But what
love.
were you guys told about women?
What are we told about women?
Yeah. Besides, like, were you told that narrative of they only want money? Like,
Oh, hell no. I was
Gold digger?
definitely not. First of all, my pops didn't tell me about this stuff at all, which he should have. So, sorry to throw you under the bus like that. But, I didn't have those conversations with him. My mom talked to me about that kind of stuff. And I witnessed her do a lot. So, like, he lived with us, but he wasn't home, or he wasn't really there. You know what I mean? Like, so she would work, come home, cook, clean, do all that, make sure we had gotten to where we had to go. And, she did the talking. She helped us with the homework. She went to the meetings at the teachers. She did a lot of that stuff. And she was the one who managed the money. She was good with all of that stuff. So I witnessed a woman being a leader in all of these capacities. So I was just taught to be respectful to women, just period. You know what I mean? It was like, just be respectful. I've never taught a negative thing about women, whereas women or parents in general generally teach their daughters negative things about men, which that's an interesting thing, right?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have the same experience? Like, were you told nothing bad about women?
I wasn't told much about anything. I learned a lot. Okay, so my stepdad was an R&B singer. Yeah, and I learned about love through music, which like is probably not the best place to learn about a lot of this stuff. But like we listened to like very like classic R&B music, which was all about love and like
strokey,
taking care of woman, provide for woman, like this on some like happy wife, happy life type shit. Then I see my mother and I'm like, oh, you didn't get enough love that you were supposed to. I see you fucking struggling your ass off. So I'm like, all right, well, Genuine told us how to treat a woman.
Pony, baby. Ride it. That pony.
I mean,
I swear to God, guys, if that song comes on anywhere.
Yeah, it's a
I
turn
will
up.
stop.
It's a turn up.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a turn up quick.
I fuck with that one too.
It's a turn up. It's a quick turn up.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like I heard the love side of like that, but it's funny because I also listen to all of the rap, gangster rap, fuck bitches, get money, and you're just like,
I have a shirt that says
fuck bitches, get money.
We did find one. Yeah, we found one in the Valley Village bin.
Like, what?
Oh, this was years ago. I actually have one now that says "Mo Honey, Mo Problems," and it's got like a bear with a honey pot. Yeah,
That's amazing. Mo honey, mo problems. Yeah, I saw how not to treat women. I feel like we've had this like the rap conversation. Was like, oh, it didn't encourage me to do it. It was like, oh, that's a fucking bad idea.
Thing, yeah.
Let's not do that.
Yeah.
So I feel like through that, but then it was just like a lot of trial and error, yo. Just like you think you know, and then you realize you don't know. And then you don't necessarily have a person you can ask these questions. That was always my frustrating part. I was like, fuck, I just wish I had an older male I could trust to ask, like, what's going on here? Because otherwise you just do it. And then you face plant enough times when you're like, oh, there's the answer to that question.
Funny, I had that, but I never felt comfortable enough to ask. Like, my pops was a ladies' man. He was smooth, and he was a musician too.
Yeah.
And
Why didn't you ask?
Just didn't feel like I was I didn't feel comfortable enough with him to ask that. I would ask my mom before I would ask him. So I was like super uncomfortable with girls and couldn't talk to women and talk like high school, going to
Yeah, no.
I didn't go to no parties. I didn't have no girlfriends. The closest I had to a girlfriend was like teasing a girl that I liked and annoying her to the point where she literally just was like, "This guy is an asshole. I don't like him."
One of those.
I wonder when that's gonna change. When that narrative's gonna change. Well, because even still, it's like, oh well, you know, he said this to me. You know, he's teasing. Yeah, he's being kind of a dick, but like, is that because he likes me? I'm like, well, is he just an asshole? Or like, are we still stuck in this thing where like, if you pull a girl's hair when you're grade 1, like, that means he likes you? Why do we even tell girls that? By the way,
because we don't really
pull your hair and shit because he likes you.
We don't.
Oh,
teach,
good.
We
let's promote
are
that.
Are we teaching boys
negative
the proper
shit.
way to express their appreciation for women?
I was just gonna try and bring it back to that because
I didn't know.
Right.
I didn't know at all. What do you say? Like, that was always my biggest thing. Was like, I'm not gonna ever go up and talk to a strange person because I'm like, I don't even know what to say.
Well, yeah, but my mom would tell me to do that. But I was like, I'm not doing that.
No way. I'm not doing that either. Because like you don't know.
Yeah, it's like, people don't do that no more, Mom. What are you talking about? I just see these cool guys with the girls. I don't know how they got from having no girl to having a girl.
And you almost
there's a certain process that I'm not aware of. Between A and B. Can someone enlighten me, please?
Yeah, it's and then you see those type of the ladies, man, and you're like, yeah, how did he get her? Did she see his success? And did she gravitate towards him? And then he had like all of these women to choose from. So each, because like that's
All right, The Bachelor.
but we.
That was my pops, though.
That's
Women banging on the windows and everything. Like,
What? Well, I mean, as a musician, like,
yeah.
bitches be crazy.
You said it. I'm glad you did. Yeah.
There is a certain string of female that I just don't get.
What's she look like?
She doesn't necessarily look.
What do her strings look like?
That shit. Oh, is he public facing? Does he have enough followers?
I had that experience.
Does
before.
he have enough money? Is he gonna look good? Like, give me more credibility. It's almost like that.
Yeah.
Give me more credibility.
Transactional, baby.
Shit drives me nuts. No one wins in the end.
So how do we get to sharing love properly?
I wonder what Lauren's gonna say to this.
I think it's an individual thing. So you said like this is what a family looks like or what a relationships look like. I really think it comes down to what works for you as a group. Because some people like having very defined roles in a household. Some people don't. We don't really have defined roles.
Right.
But there are challenges to not having those roles. Because then it's like, who's gonna do X? And then both of you are like, I don't feel like doing it.
Yeah.
And then you have to friggin' argue about who's gonna do it.
Right.
So there's a certain, like I see Natasha's parents, they have defined roles, and it's like there's a certain relaxation to that, just knowing, oh, that's a thing that he's gonna do, or that's a thing that she's gonna do,
Right.
and I can just go and watch TV right now because that's not my thing.
Right.
Right.
And then I think it's communication, which is my weakness, is like, yeah, being very clear early on, like what are your expectations of a partner? What are your expectations of, what do you want like your kids to eventually look like and behave like? And you have to constantly talk about those and constantly be ready to reinvent all of those things as well too. Like, so, and being respectful of what is hurtful, because we do things sometimes that we're like, that's not hurtful, it's not bad, but to them it is hurtful. Right. So then you have to kind of step back and realize that that's hurtful to them and it's their perception, and you have to respect their perception.
Right. Communication.
Yeah.
That's my answer.
Yeah, that's gonna be mine too.
You gotta talk about it. How the hell am I supposed to know what Terrence wants or what Duane wants if I don't ask?
Right.
Yeah.
Or how is someone supposed to read my mind? Especially if you're just meeting this person, you think that you'd like to engage in a relationship with them.
Okay, so better question. How do we create the safe space that people feel like they can communicate? Because that's the reason you just said, I didn't talk to Pops because I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel like I could. A lot of people who get into these situations, they feel like a relationship is supposed to be X, Y, and Z. And so they get into it and they're like, this is not really how I feel or what I want, but like, I feel like this is what I'm supposed to do. So I just do it. And then you end up in a situation like, this isn't what the fuck I want. And then the other person's like, well, you didn't fucking say nothing else.
Right, but there's always a place, and I'm sure we've all been in these relationships where thing X that you don't like happens, and you don't say anything.
Yeah.
It happens the first time, and
Uh-oh.
where am I? Who? What? You know, but and then you don't say anything because you're like, things are going well. This was a thing that I'm like. It's actually a huge peeve of mine, but okay, I don't want to like rock the boat because things seem good.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to bring it up. So after you don't say it the first time, now you feel like you can't say it the second time or the third time or the fourth time or the 100th time.
That action has become acceptable.
And then when you bring it up later down the road, well, you never told me before that this was going to bother you. But it's a thing. And now it's a thing. Or you don't say anything ever and you start to build this little pit of resentment about that thing.
Eats you.
And it just gets bigger and bigger. Yeah. That's kind of where, you know, I say that passionately because in my previous relationships, there were things that I just kind of glazed over and didn't say anything about. And that was the one thing, you know, when my previous relationship ended, I was like, never again am I not saying something because I'm trying to preserve someone else's feelings. Fuck it.
Can't.
It's not worth it.
Can't.
Because now there are these handful of things that I just can't even start to begin to talk about.
You know what I heard before? Women always said, be honest. just tell me the truth. I don't care if it hurts my feelings. Just tell me the truth.
And then you say it and you regret it instantly.
Sometimes you do. But sometimes it's the greatest thing you could have ever done.
Yes.
Because you think that it's this huge burden of she's going to hate me or he's going to never speak to me again. And more times than not, this person is likely going to be fairly understanding and be very happy that you opened up the opportunity to have a conversation that is much needed and much required. Once you open up the conversation, usually you end up winning because this person appreciates the fact that you were honest. And then you can build, here's this other thing that I feel like I couldn't have told you, but like I told you about the other thing. So like I care about this thing. And you build this trust in openness and communication and honesty that now if there were conditions, we can figure out what they are and break them down and get on the same page and move forward.
Absolutely. And the other thing is, if you're willing to bring something up that's uncomfortable and this person you're trying to build a relationship with just totally shuts it down.
Talk about it.
Well, now you have more information. You're either going to put up with that and say, okay, so this person's not open to talking about X, Y, or Z. Am I okay with that?
Yeah.
If the answer is yes, you proceed. If not, bye.
Yeah.
Don't waste your time.
Yeah.
Don't waste your time. It's like it's just another piece of information. Use a sort through the mess.
Yeah. Talk to each other. Figure out what the love is, what you need. Learn your love languages, by the way.
Yes.
Because that's very important. Learn your partner's love languages because...
What the hell does that mean?
You know what love languages are? Physical touch.
Okay, that makes
gifts,
sense.
acts of service, words of affirmation, and quality time are the 5 love languages.
I can't believe I don't know this.
Yeah. You got to learn your love languages because it's the best way for somebody to be able to give you the love that you need because they might like gifts. And because they like getting gifts, they might buy you gifts. But if you don't care about gifts, then they're doing this love because they think
Their
it's important.
version of
So you and your partner both figure out what your love languages are. Mine are acts of service and quality time.
That makes sense to me, duh.
So do something for me and do something with me, and we're winning. Don't buy me nothing because this shit don't matter to me.
Yeah.
But it's understanding what a person wants and what a person needs. Once you figure out what that is, you can give it to them, and then that communication is there, and you're on the same page. Get your love languages book. I read that in Costa Rica. Gifts, acts of service,
physical touch is one.
Physical touch, quality time, and words of affirmation.
Got it.
I'm all about that physical touch.
I'm saying some people like that PDA. I tell
There you go. And if that's what they need, that's what you got to give them. That's what love's all about.
100%. You're embarrassed to be in public.
Compromise, baby.
Yep.
Compromise. Lauren, where do you find you at?
Jeez, find me. I'm gonna be in BC. No,
Adventure
look
time.
me up. No, you can find me at Common Good for All, at Placemaking 4G, and in the flesh.
Love it. Duane.
Yeah, hit me up on Art Pays Me everywhere, Twitter, Instagram, wherever social medias are found. artpaysme.com, and come to Civil Unity at Daily Grind. Why
July
am I forgetting
18th.
that?
Daily Grind, July 18th,
Yeah.
7 to 11. I got you. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Anything else?
That's it.
Well, watch TTM on Instagram. We on Facebook as well. TerrenceTaylorMedia.com. Another week. I don't want that shit. I don't even want to talk about it no more because it don't matter. I'm not getting back on Instagram, so it don't matter.
Yay!
It feels so freaking good.
Good for you.
CTM Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Apple Podcasts. Make sure that you subscribe, download the podcast on Apple Podcasts if you're not, because that's where we need you to be. And the episode will just download onto your phone every week without you even having to do nothing. So it just takes time out of life. You can spend it doing other things like having communication and conversations with the people that you love, so you can get on the same page. And then the podcast is just there. It just pops up on Tuesday, and you're just ready to listen. So much love to the people. Shit. Are we getting better at this, you guys think?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah? You think so, Hillary?
I do.
Awesome. I think we're getting back to the spot where we might be able to have like guests back on the show. I'm still really excited that Pam's coming on.
Yes. I feel like we're figuring out our dynamic.
Yeah.
Like we got a little flow going, we got a structure going, we can weave through, we can go on tangents, we can bring it back. We're learning.
Helps to be organized.
We're learning to be a good team.
Yay!
I love it. Bye folks, we'll see y'all next week.
Bye.